Welcome back to the Mother-Daughter Disney podcast. I'm here with my lovely mother.
Hi, I'm Janette.
Yeah, sitting across the table from me. And today we are going to be going over our favorite things to do in Animal Kingdom. And we're specifically going to be doing things that are non-ride related because we've already done an episode on our top rides in Animal Kingdom. So if you want to go check out our favorite rides in Animal Kingdom, definitely go listen to that podcast. And this one's going to be like the part 2 of that podcast of the other things you can do in Animal Kingdom that we both enjoy to do. My mom didn't realize that because her number 1 was still Kilimanjaro Safari.
Yes, let's be honest here. If you hear anything from me, the safari is my favorite ride ever.
Yeah, which is so funny. So I told her, it's like, if that's your number 1, I told her, it's like, well, you can't have that as your number 1 because this is non-rides. This is everything else. So,
well,
okay, so we both have a list of 10 now because I had a list of 10. She had a list
I have
of 5.
a list of 10.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Originally you had 5. Now
yes,
she
I got
made a
to
list
10.
of 10.
I broke them out and got my specifics.
All right, so what's in your number 10?
My number 10 was seeing Pandora at night.
Oh, okay.
Because one time we did go to Animal Kingdom late, purposely, just so we could stay at night to see Pandora.
Yeah.
We went to dinner late and we walked through Pandora. And as much as I'm not a Pandora fan, I really was interested in seeing it all lit up with the bioessence?
Bioluminescence.
Luminescence. I forgot the Luma. The bioluminescence and stuff is very interesting because even during the day when you walk through there, it's very interesting to see the colors and the sounds and the different things. And I really did want to see it at night. So I'm not a Pandora fan technically, but I really did enjoy going through there at night.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Pandora is not on my list at all, actually. I have
Really?
nothing from Pandora on here. But I would agree. It was really cool to see it at night. That was really special, especially if you have not, I would say to look up photos so you know what we're talking about. But essentially, it's kind of like things glow in the dark. You know,
Yes.
it's like the plants and the fauna all glow in the dark. And I mean, like, it is all fake, of course. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is Disney.
Yeah,
it's Disney magic to make it all happen,
Pandora.
of course. It's not real plants.
Yes.
But it does look amazing. It's
It
really
is, and they
great.
still have the sounds going and different
Yeah,
things.
it does make you feel like you're like,
yes.
if you've seen the movies before, it makes you feel like you're really on that planet of Pandora in that movie, which is pretty cool, especially if you're a huge Avatar fan. So
Yeah. So if you're there at night, I think it's an interesting thing, even if you're not going on the rides or doing anything, to walk through there.
yeah, for sure. All right, in my number 10, I have to look at the Tree of Life and to spot all of the animals all over
that's
the Tree
cool.
of Life. I love
Yes.
doing that. Even when we're just walking around and as we're walking, I'll be looking at being like, oh, look at that animal. Like, I haven't seen that one before. There are over 300 animals on the Tree of Life. So, I mean, like, you could really be doing it all day if you
Right.
really wanted to.
You
and
never
try
see
to
the same one twice.
Yeah, and try to spot different ones again from all angles, from 360. So
Yes.
we definitely recommend.
Yeah, because even some of the rides when you're going past them and doing stuff that
Yeah,
you know,
especially when you're kind of behind the tree, like between the Asia and Africa kind of lands. There's that little section that's like a little photo op now. But I remember that's like a really great section because you can really see the back of the tree pretty well. So you can see a lot of the animals that are featured on the back of the tree there. But yeah, but I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things to do. So that was my number 10. All right, what is your number 9?
Well, snacking in Harambe Square because they have a cool little stand there and their pretzels are really good. Like by the time you're hot, tired, and you know, the pretzel is just a really nice little snack just to sit there. They have fruit, really good fruit. It's one of those stands like they had in Magic Kingdom where they have really good fruit that you could pick up some fruit and a pretzel or something like that and just sit and watch the people go by. So I like that. That was my number 9, snacking in the little fruit stand. Actually, it's right outside the safari, I think it is. It's not even right in the square. It's actually past the square down by the safari.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree because the snacks there are really great.
Yeah.
It's a nice little area too, especially because it's a little
in the
Harambe
shade.
Square area. It's shaded. And again, you're right outside of Kilimanjaro Safaris as well. So, you know, you can get right on line with your snack if you want to. The many times now I've eaten snacks standing on that line because the line does get
Usually
real
it's
long.
a Rice Krispie treat.
Yeah, that line does get real long, but no, I agree. That's a great snack spot. In my number 9, I have Yak and Yeti Restaurant. So we actually have already done a full deep dive into Yak and Yeti Restaurant, going over the history of the restaurant as well as the full menu of the restaurant. So I definitely recommend checking out that episode if you're interested in Yak and Yeti. But I love the Yak and Yeti Restaurant. It is one of my favorite restaurants, I'd say, overall on Disney property. It definitely would make like a pretty high up their list, I would say. I say that we actually did our top 5 restaurants in all of the parks. That was our first episode ever. If sitting here right now, I cannot remember what restaurants
I don't remember
made
which
that
ones they were. Did Yak and Yeti come up? I'm telling
know,
you.
right?
There's just too many. I mean, there are some good ones. There are some bad ones too, but there are a lot of good ones. So
yeah,
yes.
but I do love Yak and Yeti Restaurant, so I would always recommend that restaurant if you're able to go. They also have a little quick service part of Yak and Yeti too that's outside of the normal restaurant, so you can still get the Yak and Yeti food even if you can't get like a reservation maybe at the actual restaurant. It is a slimmed down part of the menu, but still has a pretty good array of the food that they serve at the restaurant. So definitely would would recommend eating over there. All right, what is your number 8?
And number 8 was something I'm not so sure it's on right now. I thought they said they were going to bring it back. It was the nighttime show on the tree.
Oh yeah, that projection show.
They did the projection show we caught once.
Yeah.
And then a second time it looked like it was going to happen and then it didn't. And then I just read something recently that they're supposed to be bringing it back possibly.
It's not confirmed if it's coming back or not,
Yeah.
but it's rumored saying that after daylight savings it's supposed to come back. But again, that's not confirmed by Disney
It was
yet,
very
so-
pretty where they did the projections on the tree and the sounds and the different things that they did, the music and different things. I really liked it. So I hope they do bring it back.
I've actually never seen it because that one day we went to go see it, and I kid you not, we were all just standing in front of the tree waiting for something to happen.
Everybody was
and-
looking at the tree.
Yeah, nothing happened. We all just staying there for so long, and then we were like, well, I guess we'll just go now. So we just left.
How did I see it without you then? I must have seen it
You've
when
been there before without me.
Yeah,
that time
without
you
me.
and Jane went.
when Jane and I went, that's probably when I saw it. Yes.
Yeah,
when
because
was there with
I
Jane.
didn't get to see it sadly, but
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
It was
though,
very beautiful.
so.
It was, and it's not very long. It's a short thing. It's not very long because you're just standing there watching the tree. And like I said, that time when we were standing there, everybody looked like they were waiting for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought we were going to see it too, and it was like there were like pretty lights on it, just like lighting
Right,
up the
that
tree.
was it, yeah.
And I kid you not, we stood there for like maybe 10, and other people too, 10 to 15 minutes. And
Just
after
look at
like the park closed, it was like 5 minutes after park closed, and we're like, well, I guess we'll just
Guess
leave
we're going.
now. Like nothing happened.
So I hope it comes back. It is a nice
same.
little thing.
Yeah. All right. In my number 8, I have Rafiki's Planet Watch, and specifically on Rafiki's Planet Watch. So essentially, you take a little train over to Rafiki's Planet Watch. It's kind of a little bit outside of the park, but it's still part of the park, like it's a thing. But specifically there, they have this area called the Conservation Station, and this is the only area of Animal Kingdom where you can really see reptiles. So you can see snakes, lizards. They also have some like arachnoids as well, like the tarantulas is what I mean.
Not my favorite.
So yeah, I love reptiles. I've always been a little reptile girly here. So,
No.
and again, that's the only area that really has like the reptiles though. So you kind of have to go all the way out there. They also have small mammals too, like meerkats, I think is also out there as well. I'm not sure what else is out there off the top of my head. And it is a bit of like a kids kind of thing. They have a lot of like kids activities when you get out there. And of course it is very focused on conservation. So a lot of the conservation methods that they use there at Animal Kingdom and also in the world of how they preserve land, how they preserve land in Africa. But again, if you are also a reptile person, I would recommend going out there to go see the reptiles.
I got to stick a memory in here before I forget it
yeah.
because it's not my memory for the thing. Because when Amanda was young, they have in Conservation Station, when you walk through the doors, they have this big wall that has
It's like a big mural of animals.
mural of animals and leaves and things and stuff. And as a little girl, we practically had to drag her past that screaming and kicking because she was
'cause it
afraid of the
when
wall.
I was little, I was really scared. Well, it's like a lot of animals just like staring at you if you think about it. It's the same reason why I was scared of Rainforest Cafe too when I was little.
Right,
So-
yes. I just had to stick that in there. It was
No,
funny
yeah,
because
but-
it just brought to memory that when I heard you say that that's one of your favorite things to do, I'm laughing because I'm saying not when you were little.
Well, it was just because of the wall, not because of what you do when you're there.
Because of what you do inside.
But I did think of that though, because when I Googled this, I saw the wall again. I'm like, oh yes, I remember being afraid of that
Yes,
wall.
I think we have a picture in front of that wall.
I know, right? Well, maybe you shouldn't have forced me to take a photo in front of the wall I was clearly afraid of. So, as if there aren't other plenty of photo opportunities in Animal Kingdom. But yes, let's do it in front of the creepy wall. So, okay, what is your number 7?
My number 7 was drinks at Harambe Square.
Okay.
There's a bar right there that we've been there with friends of ours when we were there. And one time we were stuck in the rain when we sat out there. There's a bar there that's under a covering. And if you
Yeah.
get a table, they have like all these like high top tables. If you get a table there, even if you sit at the bar, you can just watch the people walk by. I mean, they usually have entertainment going on out there in the square. They just have so much going on that you could just sit there and just watch the people go by. And we did that in the rain one time. We did it with friends of ours where we sat and drank and talked to the bartender. It's just a really cool little place that you would never think of because there's so many people coming and going so quickly. I don't think everybody realizes that you could just stop and just have a nice little cocktail and sit there and enjoy it.
No, yeah, for sure. What restaurant is that next to? I'm trying to figure out.
It's-
It's right near Tusker House.
Yes, it's right near Tusker
yeah.
House. It's right across from
Yeah,
the
they're referring
shopping.
to, it's like a little quick service almost that's like
Yes.
right next to Tusker House, but I can't seemingly find an exact name for it. I
No,
think, yeah, I mean,
it doesn't.
It definitely
the bar,
does have a name.
The bar
but-
is there. It doesn't. It's actually, if you look under lounges, it probably has it or something. Because the food, you have to go across. You actually have to cross through all the traffic of people to go across to get to the window that's over there across the way. So really, they just serve the drinks there. But people bring their own food there. They go across and get the little fast food from that little window. And then if you grab a nice little table, like I said, you can actually see people going by. I think around the
Okay,
side.
It's called Dawa Bar.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say.
I was gonna say it's a bar.
I was gonna say it has to have a name.
Yeah, it doesn't have any
it's
food.
called
to get the food,
Dawa
you have to
Bar.
walk across to all the people to the other side.
No, there is food there too, though.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there
I
is
didn't even know
food
they
there
did
as
that.
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know on the side, if you sit on the side, it's the canal where those little boats come by with the
because
characters.
they have because she's talking about Harambe Market is where you can go across to get more food
Yes.
because that's where the Tamu
Oh no,
refreshments
there's just
are.
that one little window. Remember, I left my credit card there one time. Little window, like where you look across, there's the store. And
Yeah, that's the Tamu refreshments.
Yes,
yeah,
that's it.
that little window. But if
Yeah.
you go around, there's
Then you have the
more-
whole. Yeah, they
That's
added
what
all
I'm saying,
those
Harambe
restaurants.
Market is what I
Yes.
meant. Yeah, because there's actually I think it's actually called Harambe Market.
Oh yeah, they added all. Yeah, in there they added a
that's
whole
all
lot
new.
of.
Yeah, but that whole area has a lot of different types of food. Because
Yes.
if I'm looking on the map right now, there's all different. There's like Kusafiri's coffee shop and bakery. Again, there's Tusker House.
Yeah, you don't realize how
There's-
much food there is actually to get around there.
That's right. It's called Mahindi. I didn't know that. That is the popcorn stand where I get
Oh,
my
okay.
popcorn
Where
from.
you, like,
but
you
it's
get your
called
popcorn
Mahindi,
from?
though, So
Okay.
look at that. I didn't know it had a little name.
Yeah, it's amazing how much
The
stuff
Harambe
they.
Fruit Market, which is my mom just talked about.
Yes.
and
Yeah, it
usually-
kind of goes around, and like if you go through one side, you can come in and go all the way
Yeah.
around and come back behind the shop there.
Yeah,
So-
they also have Zuri's Sweets Shops, which is where I get the Rice Krispie treats from. It's
Right.
kind of like any bakery, in Disney World.
Right.
But I don't have that on my list. I probably should have added Zuri's Sweet
Yeah,
Shops.
they only added a lot of those restaurants just in the last few years.
Yeah, a lot of it's new or have been rebranded too as well,
Yes.
with new names, new.
I think they needed
menus.
it because in Animal Kingdom, they other than the Tusker House and different places that were like sit down kind of, there wasn't a lot of food to get in Animal Kingdom. Kind of hard to find what you wanted
Well,
to.
I feel like they have more like like food truck type.
Yeah, those
things.
little food
I was
stands.
just saying they have a lot of
Yes.
food stands.
You can get a
all
piece
over
of
the
pizza.
park,
You
yeah.
can get
And a
French
lot of the
fries.
food stands, people say the food is really great there, but they all tend to have unusual hours. So it's like
Yes,
if you go
you never
by,
know when
it
they're
could be
open.
closed or So
Right.
it's like a lot of them tend to have weird hours. So you have to kind of get it at the right time to get on one of those food
Right.
trucks. But yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like for places to go and like to sit and eat. Yeah, they didn't have a lot of
They didn't have a
those.
lot. Like,
But
just
lots
to
of
grab-
food trucks.
yeah.
Even now, the food trucks are all still there too.
Oh
of
yeah.
course,
Well,
but-
now, like I said, now there's just all those extra ones that
Yeah.
just give you so much more chance to get it and sit down and enjoy food.
Well, I would say too, they also had that pizza restaurant that does not have very good pizza. They
No,
also
but one of
had-
those little food trucks had really good
Yeah,
pizza.
the Dinosaurus restaurant too. I've heard that place is pretty good actually. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
Pizza
only-
Fari is not very
Yeah,
good.
Pizza Fari. Yeah, we've never been a fan of Pizza Fari, but there's the quick service in Dinoland. I've heard good things about.
okay?
Although we have not eaten there, though, if
No.
I'm being honest. So, but all right, yeah. So that was your number 7, right? All right, my number 7 is to the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trails, and I added this one specifically just because I love seeing the animals. So gorillas are not my favorite animals. However, I just like seeing animals in a more general sense. So you don't just see gorillas on the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trails, but that is what it's leading up to. Like you get
Right.
to see the gorillas, obviously,
There's
but
other
you get
little
to see
things
lots
to
of other
see.
animals too, like other
Right.
different types of antelope, deer, other like smaller mammals. So I would say if you want to look for more animals, I would definitely recommend going to do that. That is also kind of close to where Kilimanjaro Safaris is as well. I think there's actually signs when you get out of the ride to go do that trail to see the gorillas, since you don't see gorillas on the safari itself. So,
Right. Yeah, you don't. They don't go past.
all right, what is your number 6?
Mine is just strolling.
Yeah.
It was just strolling through the park, like, just taking the time to stop at each of their sections that have all the different animals. Like I said, when you go through the Gorilla Falls, you see them more
But there's
separated
animals
out.
all over the whole park.
Yes, but every place
They're
you
like
go-
every little crevice.
Yes,
there's
every little crevice,
animals.
there's something, and usually they have a little plaque there sometimes to tell you what kind of animals. Sometimes it's just a stream or a thing going through that just the natural animals are just hanging out. I have to admit that I just like strolling through the park and seeing all the different animals. I mean, I just love the animals. That's why I love being there. So
Yeah, like I would definitely recommend just looking around, because like sometimes they'll set up little mini exhibits for like birds and stuff, and like,
Yes.
just in the middle of a walkway, there's really nothing else there. There's no place to like stop and
No,
stand.
it is everybody's always rushing so fast to get to where they have to go. Like they get into the park and they run to here and they run to there and they got to run to the next ride. It's just so much fun just to stop and take your time to stop at each of the fences and look over and see what's in the in the water or in the little hut that's over there.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, in my number 6, I have the Tam Tam drummers of Harambe Square. So those are the performers that kind of happen in Harambe Square. I think they do have times that they come out, but I don't know the exact
That's the stuff that's
times.
fun to watch from the
Yeah,
drinks.
they're so much fun. They come out. They're actually from Africa. They perform like authentic dances that they would do in Africa, and they kind of bring again that culture here. And they're always so excited to share that with everyone. And you get to watch. I mean, like what they do is amazing. They like climb all these chairs up to like the very tippy top. It's so cool. Obviously, the music is really fun. They get a lot of people involved to like with dancing with them. If you have kids, it's really fun for the kids, of course. So that's one of my favorite things to see. We don't specifically go seek it out, but we always tend to be around when usually one
Right,
show
and
is
like I
happening
said,
at the
that's
beginning and the end.
when I sit at the drink place there, it was always they come out on a regular intervals, so you can sit
Yeah.
there and just kind of be entened.
Yes, I'm saying it's just super fun. So that's one of my other faves. All right, what is your number 5? We're in the
Oh,
top
of course,
5.
my other pastime, drinking.
Yeah.
Rainforest Cafe is fun to drink in.
Yeah.
It's just the atmosphere is so much fun because of what's going on around you. And the joke is that around the bar they always have the stools or the backsides of all the different animals, and we've always always joked about sitting on them. When the kids were young, we never went to the bar. We always go to a table and sit down and have food or whatever. And we hadn't gone there in a long time. And just recently, Dad and I, we were just tired and we just wanted to have lunch before we left the park. So we went up and said, oh, we get to sit on the stools. And I got to tell you, they were comfortable. We had hamburgers. They were delicious. The bartender was friendly. I have to tell you, Rainforest Cafe is a great place to go and have drinks.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like now that I'm in my drinking era, is what I'm saying. I have not really drinking that much. I'm 27 now. I have not drinking in the past 6 years. I was legally able to drink. But now the time is now. So I'm ready to go to Disney World and we're going to get all the cocktails.
We're going to go do the cocktails.
I'm going to look up the good ones and then we're going to get some of the good.
Yeah, I've been to Rainforest
cocktails.
Cafe a couple of times. We went with friends one time because we were like killing time. And sure enough, we were leaving the park and go, no, we don't want to go anyplace else. Let's just go in there. And it's fun. It's fun to just sit and relax and have a nice drink.
I mean, like there are Rainforest Cafes here in New Jersey too that you can go to.
It's not the same.
It's definitely, it's a bit sadder when you're driving to the sad mall to go sit.
Yes, when you come out of Rainforest Cafe, you're in the sad mall.
Yeah.
But when you're there, you're coming out to Florida. But yes, and like I said, the Rainforest Cafe is just like lots of activity. You know, the volcanoes erupting and.
Wait, she says about Rainforest Cafe, yet she won't come to the dinosaur restaurant with me. Somehow the dinosaur restaurant is not as appealing as Rainforest Cafe.
No, I don't think so. Do they have a bar? We can go to the
they
bar.
have a bar, yeah.
Okay, we'll go to the bar next time we're in Disney Springs. We'll go in there and have a drink just so you can sit there.
Yeah, I haven't even been inside of it before. I just want to go inside, take photos of the dinosaurs.
I didn't know they had a bar. I thought they were just a T-Rex restaurant.
Yeah, well, we'll have to go in and look,
if there's a bar, I'm willing to sit at the bar and have a drink. I'm not going to the dinosaur restaurant to have dinner.
Well, in my number 5, I have the Maharaja Jungle Trek. And I put this one before the Gorilla Falls because this is the one you see the tigers. And I am more of a big cat person than I am of like a gorilla person. I loved all the big cats.
We haven't done that in a while. We have to do that.
We haven't yet. This one's a little bit longer, I believe, and it's a little bit more out there. So it takes a while to walk through. So again, if you have kids or something like that, and maybe, it may not be a good thing for them to walk or they get too tired, or maybe it's just really hot. If we're being honest, let's be real. Animal Kingdom is a hot park.
Yes.
Yeah, so sometimes you just want to sit down. And we haven't done the trails in a while, so I can't remember how many benches there are.
We should do it, yeah.
But I vaguely remember there not being that many benches along the way. So if you get tired, you're really just standing the whole way as you walk through this attraction,
I would do it when it's cooler.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I would love to do, I love that one specifically because I love seeing the tigers. Again, I love seeing big cats. And again, you don't see the tigers on Kilimanjaro Safari, so you do have to go do the trek in order to see tigers. You do see lions, though, on the safari. So, yeah, but again, I feel like those two kind of both, again, just wrapped up to what my mom was saying of just looking around and seeing the animals.
All the animals.
And so, yeah, just do two specific things where you really see the animals, like you're doing specific things to go see the animals or these treks. And yeah, I just love seeing the animals. That's why you're going there. It's
that's it. I mean, the rides are fun. I'm not saying the rides aren't fun. The rides are all fun. But I have to say that
that's what makes Animal Kingdom stand out against Magic Kingdom and Epcot and Hollywood Studios, that it has actual live animals that are being cared for and in a very, conservative way.
And when you see them, they're like, it's not like you're seeing them just in a cage. You're seeing them like roaming out in
like
their
Disney
own
really
habitat.
creates a faux habitat for them. So it's not just going to the zoo. Like it's definitely a very elevated version of going to the zoo.
And that's why I enjoy it.
All right, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is shopping.
Shopping?
I love shopping in Animal Kingdom because it's like anything else. They have their own merchandise. A lot of it has the African themes. A lot of them has the African colors, decorations. I just love that African theme. So just walking through the shops, I mean, you see all the regular Disney stuff too. But I have to say that when you walk through the shops, they do have some odd stuff that's very, very beautiful and very apropos for that park. So I enjoy shopping in the shops because it has different stuff than everywhere else.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely agree. In my number 4, I have taking photos around the park. And I mentioned this kind of before, but again, there are a lot of really great photo opportunities around Animal Kingdom in general. And now it's even better because they have Photo Pass. So literally you'll see the Photo Pass person standing somewhere. You're like, oh yeah, that is a great option to take a photo there. But there's so many cool things. I mean, like just in Pandora alone, it's like when else are you going to take photos like on the island, on the planet of Pandora? And just around the tree with all of the animals. They have a lot of really cool statues too. Like there's that Lion King little statue they have that now they have a Photo Pass person in front of, which is so funny. That was also the other day when we were walking through, we kind of walked a different way than we normally did. And they have all these statues of like animals, like African statues of animals just kind of around the park. And I was like, I never really saw these before, but these are really cool to take photos of or photos with if like you see your favorite animal, out and about in the park. And even if we go to Dino Land USA, I call it the flop land. I don't mean that. I know a lot of people love Dino Land USA, but it's not my favorite land.
No, they have to rebuild it. They kind of took some of the stuff down.
Well, and they're in the process of redoing things for sure. Yeah, but even there, though, I mean, like it's still kind of fun though. And I say that because I love dinosaurs. I just feel like Dino Land.
Well, that kind of ties into my idea of strolling. When you're strolling and you're paying attention, there are beautiful places.
Yeah, there are just so many details around Animal Kingdom specifically that it's like great things to just take photos of, take photos with, learn from, think about the memories and everything. Like I remember too in one of the documentaries we were watching of the Imagineer story when they were saying how to make this land of like Harambe Square look so weathered and worn, but actually has to stand up against the real weather, the real wear and tear of Florida, which is kind of funny. But then when you look around, you start to really notice all the little details of like the wear and tear that the whole park has. But yet it still is not real. You know, it's like it's still I say not real. I mean, it's a way to still function. It's not actually going to tear itself apart, you know, in the next hurricane or something like that. It'll still stay standing through that. But yeah, but I love doing that. All right, what is your number 3?
Yak and Yeti.
Yak and Yeti.
Go and eat at Yak and Yeti's. Yak and Yeti's, because like I said, because not only just is the food very good, the whole atmosphere is fun. You know, you're in the Asia, you feel like you're in Asia, you feel like you're going into an Asian restaurant. The detail, the decorations, the flags, the things that they have around it. Even when you're sitting upstairs, you look out the window and you see the flags like from the mountains. It is a very interesting restaurant. The service is always good. The atmosphere is good. I just love going there.
Yeah, no, good. I already talked about Yak and Yeti. We have a whole podcast episode specifically on our love for Yak and Yeti. So definitely recommend listening to that. But yeah, Yak and Yeti really is a great restaurant. That whole land too around the Yak and Yeti is kind of actually themed to Yak and Yeti as well. Like they basically create a whole fictional backstory for that land, which I think is amazing and not something that you would notice necessarily as you walk through. But now that you know, you walk through and be like, oh yeah, it is all connected. This is a whole little community that's around this little area, which is so cool though. And again, the food is really great. So all right, and my number 3, that's where I have the gift stores and shopping. Because again, I agree with my mom. The shopping is so good in Animal Kingdom and it's so specific. Like when people say it's like, oh, you can get all your souvenirs at World of Disney and Disney Springs. That is definitely not true. I do think there are certain things that are specific to the parks and especially Animal Kingdom. For instance, again, in those shops, probably Harambe Square, even all the shops really, they'll kind of have similar things once you're in the park. They do have a lot of imported goods from Africa. So African sculptures, wooden sculptures. They have the little bonsai trees and like plants that you can buy. They have a lot of animal print type of things you can get. Like a lot of the animal print mini ears are really only found in Animal Kingdom. So if you're an animal print girly, you got to go to Animal Kingdom to get that.
It was funny, years ago, you actually bought one as a souvenir, I know. Gave it to somebody. They had the Mickey and Minnie's dressed up in the safari costumes.
Little safari outfits.
And they don't have that anymore. Now I'm sorry that I never bought one years ago.
Well, I think they make, I think now they, well, I feel like they make a comeback every few years.
I haven't seen them in a very long time.
I feel like the merchandise comes and goes in the parks of like,
I said, I wish I had one of those now because that was my favorite. And I said, now I wish I had bought one back then because you realize that that was only in Animal Kingdom. You can only get them in Animal Kingdom.
Well,
they had Winnie the Pooh. They had all the characters dressed up in little safari costumes.
The item that I have is a beach towel that I remember we went a few years in a row and I kept seeing this beautiful beach towel that was in the Asia area and it said like Disney's Animal Kingdom on it and it had this beautiful ornate kind of design that was like an Asian inspired design, Asian colors. And every time I saw it, I kept saying, it's like, oh wow, that's a really pretty beach towel. It's like, I really like it. And eventually my mom was just like, you should just buy it, like just get it. So I was like, okay. So I finally bought it. The next time I went, literally have never seen that again.
Right.
Never
That's
seen
what I
beach
mean.
towels
Some of this merchandise, and because you can only see it there, it comes and it goes. So if you really like something, you have to like. But that's what's so much fun about going through those stores because you don't see that anyplace else.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and I mean, towels like that aren't really sold in the parks in a general sense. I think it was only sold there because of the Kali River Rapids.
Yes,
so they sold.
They do that so when people come off the rapids, they can get dry.
Yeah, it's one of those things where again, you're getting like very specific type of items that are themed to these areas that you're really only going to find in those areas. Like even some of the Pandora stuff, you don't really see a lot of the Pandora stuff outside of Pandora. Not saying you never will, but it's just you don't see it as much if you're not in that Pandora area or if you're in Animal Kingdom in sense. So I definitely say if you're going shopping in Animal Kingdom, buy it there if you can.
You won't see it.
Because the chances of you finding that same exact item outside of Animal Kingdom is going to be slim. So all right, what is in your number 2?
Festival of the Lion King.
Festival of the Lion King.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun show.
That is also my number 2.
Yes, it's a fun show. It does all the music that you're used to. It's colorful. It's active. It was really fun. I mean, it went really quickly. I mean, it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we the last time we went, we had just made it in. Like literally, we were online. We're like, are we gonna make it into the show?
We're like
probably
one of the last people to get in.
We were like one of the last families who were allowed in. We were sitting all the way up in the back, but even then, it was so cool. I loved it. I was so blown away by it. And again, I mean, like we had seen it before.
The theater's round, so even though we were sitting up high on the bleachers watching, even though because it was round, it wasn't like it was this big gigantic theater that was so high up.
Yeah, and it's engaging because like you have like each section is like a different character. So it's like you have I forget what we were. I think we were the lions or something like that.
Yeah,
you like roar like a lion.
Right, they make you do all the different sounds. They get everybody involved.
Stuff. Yeah. I loved the fire thrower, the man with the baton that was on fire. I think that's so cool when they do stuff like that. I just think it's amazing when people
they work hard.
Perform with fire.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people love the tumbling monkeys. That's always a fan favorite is the tumbling monkeys. I mean, like of course they were so talented. I think too just how they tramp. I mean, like I used to do theater back in the day. I think too I just admire the way they transition each scene to another. It's so seamless and so like simple. It's like you're watching them them transition between these different types of acrobatic acts in front of your eyes. Like, there's no curtain or anything like that. So they have to make it a way to make it look aesthetically pleasing, but also it all has to be completely safe for the actors on stage. And I just think that's really amazing. Just putting that together from like a stage point of view is just really, really well done. So absolutely love Festival of the Lion King. So fun. So if you're able to go see it, would definitely recommend trying to see it.
Right.
They do have certain priority passes for people in wheelchairs. If you have kids, they have like fast pass lanes for it, lightning lanes for it as well, so you can get like a better seat in the front. But I would say you can sit anywhere.
Even if you sit up in the
great.
top, you're not that far away from the stage. It's not like you're missing anything. You can really see everything from where you're sitting in the
it's
theater.
definitely great though. So love Festival of the Lion King. All right, now I'm so curious to know what your number 1 is. I wonder if I could guess. I don't know if I could.
Did you do your number 2?
My number 2 is also Festival of the Lion King.
Oh, it was also.
Yeah, no, we both had the same number 2.
Oh, wow, okay.
So now I'm curious what is your number.
My number 1.
Is it very specific or is it broad?
It's very specific.
It is very
It's
specific.
the flamingos.
Oh, the flamingos.
I love flamingos. I just love flamingos. They just catch my attention. I don't know. Maybe it's the extrovert in me. I don't know. I love the flamingos, and you see them on the safari. But they also have a pond where I forget if it's on the left or the right when you come in. Yeah, it's in the front of the park. But they have a pond where the flamingos hang out, and I just love the flamingos. I could just go over there and stand there and look at them and take pictures of them. That's what's on my computer screen is a big picture of the flamingos that I took. I just love flamingos. So that's my number 1 thing. Other than the safari, my number 1 thing is to just stop and stare at the flamingos.
That is fun too. Again, that's what we were saying before. There are animals all over this entire park. You don't just have to be on the rides to see animals, which is one of I think the greatest things about the park. My number 1 is also a very specific animal too, actually, to see. I don't know if you'd be able to guess it though. You may be able to. It's in the Asia area.
The monkeys? The chimpanzees that jump from place to place.
Yeah. So between Kali River Rapids, Expedition Everest, and Yak and Yeti, there's this big area
fun. I forgot about them.
Of these chimpanzee monkeys that are, it's this whole area just for them. There's like usually 2 to 3 of them that are out at a time. I don't know how many actually live there, but because the area is so large, they have this whole area over top this little pond that they can kind of play around in. So sometimes they're feeding them, they're eating. Other times they're just kind of swinging on the, on the ropes itself. Sometimes they're just like moving around, and people would just stand there and just watch them.
I think they're watching us too.
And I have before. I've just stood them and watched them for like 30 minutes one time, just staying there, like watching them just move around as they eat their food. They're kind of looking at you. You're looking at them.
Right.
It's just like
they know they're entertaining you. They know that they're jumping from thing to thing and doing what they're doing.
But I love it though. I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like I love watching them because they're just so active and it's just so interesting to like wonder what they're doing. It's really fun to watch them too go across the ropes, like across like the long ropes back and forth. Because like if they fell, they would fall right a pretty long distance into the water, like a couple stories down into the water. Of course, they're not going to fall though. They know exactly what they're doing. But yeah, that's why I just think it's so cool though. It's just watching those monkeys go back and forth. And normally I'm not really a big monkey person. Like monkeys are not my favorite animals.
Yeah.
But those ones I do think are fun to see.
Well, they're chimpanzees. They're not really monkeys.
Yeah. But I do find those chimpanzees fun to watch, to go back and forth on those ropes and just to hang out. And whenever we go by and they're not out, I do feel a bit sad. So I do always look for them.
We always look
there.
for them when we go through.
Yeah, and sometimes they're not there, sometimes they're not out. So you just kind of have to walk.
Sometimes
by.
they could be sitting inside their tower because they do have.
Yeah,
a
they have little
up
indoor
there.
areas, obviously, and if it's hot out, I don't blame them. They're inside hanging out. But but that was my number 1. Yeah, that was our top 10. Yeah.
It should show you that there's just so much to do that people don't always think of.
Yeah, for sure.
When you go to Animal Kingdom, it's exciting to see. You have to be an animal lover, obviously. You have to be an outdoor lover, obviously, because if it is a very hot, very buggy kind of park. Only because you're not in places where they're spraying for bugs and spraying for this and spraying for that. So you just got to be prepared to know that you have to hydrate and find places where there's shade and do what you need to do. But it is so much fun.
Yeah, for sure. There are a few things that didn't make our list, I guess, was the Finding Nemo show.
I do
like
good,
the Finding Nemo show, but just not on the top 10. Sorry to Finding Nemo. Nothing in Dino Land. Just nothing. There's a lot of games you can play in Dino Land USA, like
Dino Land is good for
games.
kids, not for adults.
Yeah, and there's also this huge play area.
Yes.
I know, like
we
kids
used to sit
love
on a
the play
bench in the
area.
shade while the kids used to run through the play area.
The bone graveyard.
None of the benches are comfortable either. So,
that there's that. There's this Tough to Be a Bug. That is not my favorite show.
No.
I'm not a fan of It's Tough to Be a Bug. I'm not a big bug person, so I was not going to like the bug show.
I could do without that. So
just
there's also a bird show.
Oh yeah, the bird. We haven't seen the bird show in a while now. If I'm being honest,
it's a nice little show. It wouldn't make my top 10. Like if I
don't remember it. If I'm being honest,
yeah,
that's why
they
I
just kind of show you the birds. Birds fly over you. They go out. They come back. It's that little tiny little theater right next to Yak and Yeti's.
I know some people don't like it because they don't like birds. They're like scared of birds. But we haven't seen it since they've rethemed it to be the Up theme. So we probably should. But I mean, like that's what I was saying. I haven't seen that show in quite some time now, so I don't remember it off the top of my head. But I know some people say they just don't like birds, so they'll go see it. But
no, doesn't do anything for me.
Alrighty, my mom's just shaking her head, which is not an audio.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, just shaking her head over there.
No,
but that's
nothing
okay.
else. I think I did a lot of talking.
Yeah, we'll transition into some Disney news now. So first off is that Mickey's Not So Scary Party has begun. There's been so many new treats and characters seen around the park, and the dates are now sold out through September 17th as of recording right now. So if you want to go to Mickey's Not So Scary, I would definitely recommend getting your tickets sooner than later. I'd also say too, do not get the resale tickets for these after party events because people are saying they're being scammed by them. So be careful if you're buying resale from Mickey's Not So Scary or the Oogie Boogie Bash because apparently they're not all legitimate. So just be wary. All right, Journey of Water continues to have cast member previews, but if there is still no official opening yet, I've heard it's taking people about 20-minute walkthrough if you really take your time. I wonder how long it will really take if it's super crowded or something. Like I wonder if they'll have a line at first when it first opens because of course everyone's going to want to go see the Journey of Water. This is an Epcot, the Moana water exhibit.
Can you walk around it or do you have to go through it?
I think you can walk around it. Yeah, I don't think you have to like go through it, but I'm sure if you can go through it, you can probably just whiz by and just go through the crowd.
Meander through.
Yeah, but if you want to be involved in like the interactive water elements, I think if you do it all, apparently it takes about 20 minutes is what people have been saying, and that's like taking your time, not like doing it quickly. Probably if you want to do it fast, you could probably do it in 10. I guess we'll see. But yeah, but I'm excited to see that. But yeah, there's still no official opening date, so I wonder when they do plan to open it because right now they've just been doing lots of cast member previews like week after week. So I guess we'll see. All right, times have been added to the My Disney Experience app to see the Mandalorian and Grogu and Galaxy's Edge. So before they like all the other characters in Galaxy's Edge, they kind of just come out and about. There's no official meet and greet. There's no lines or anything. They just kind of walk around the land to make it feel more immersive. However, because Mandalorian and Grogu are literally so popular, they now have times of when they'll just be out and about. So it's still no lines for a meet and greet or anything like that, but just times when you may be able to like catch sight of them. The big news that my mom is excited about is that their trams are back in Epcot and Hollywood Studios in the parking lots. So if you're parking in Epcot or Hollywood Studios, you can now take the tram from the back of the parking lot up to the front of the park.
Well, because in December we're not staying in Disney Disney property the whole time, and that means parking in the boondocks.
Yeah, I know, right? Parking in the way back, then walking all the way from the back of the parks right to the all the way back of the parking lot. So, all right, but the trams are back, so that's very exciting. There are no longer straws or plastic lids being given out at whim. You will now need to ask for them. So again, they still have straws and plastic lids. If you want them, you just have to ask. And that is an effort to cut back on plastic and just, general waste. There are now currently 20% discounts on Disney Springs Resort area hotels in this upcoming fall. So if you were thinking of going to Disney World or you live locally and you want to be around the Disney Springs or the areas around us, what's that? Saratoga Springs especially is the main one that's around it.
That's right across the lake, yes.
Yeah, so all like the hotels that are right around Disney Springs are all having 20% off discounts. So definitely check that out on Disney's website. Lots of new snacks at Contempo Cafe, but RIP to the peanut butter pie.
Oh, yes.
Peanut butter pie was one of my favorite snacks for years. I have so many photos of it too.
Yeah.
We always used to get it. My dad loved it as well.
I thought it was coming back.
Well, what happened was that for the 50th anniversary, they ended up revamping it and they put banana in the peanut butter pie, but I really don't like bananas. Bananas is like one of the few food items I can just not even smell. I can't even look at a banana. Don't even want to look at it. So maybe that's why I don't like monkeys. Don't even want to look at a banana. So I couldn't have it. So then post 50th anniversary celebration, they said it was going to be making a return. Apparently it did make a return, but I heard other people who love it say that it was not the same when it made a return, that it wasn't as good, that they had changed it a very little bit, and now it's gone completely. So they have replaced it with a peanut butter bar. So it kind of looks like a mini cake slice, but it has layers of the chocolate, kind of the graham cracker crust and peanut butter on it. So maybe I'll test it out and see if I like it. But from being honest, Contempo Cafe has so many new snacks now. They have a new
cookie too. I saw.
Yeah, they have new cookies. They have new brownies. They have new cupcakes. They have so many new they have new little tarts. They have so many new interesting little snacks there that I'm kind of impressed that they're really putting in a lot of effort suddenly in the Contempo Cafe. Not that I don't think they weren't before, but just with a lot of new snacks all at once that I just wasn't really expecting for them to do at Contempo Cafe. So but excited to go to Contempo Cafe, but we'll be sad to see the peanut butter pie go away. All right, and our last little bit of Disney news here is that starting September 15th, you can meet Mirabelle in Magic Kingdom, and you will also be able to see Bruno in the cavalcade. So 2 of the Madrigals will be in Magic Kingdom officially, so that's super exciting to look forward to, especially if you're a big Mirabelle fan or if you just want to see Bruno in the cavalcade. All right, and now on to some Disney birthdays. Sticking with the Madrigals, on August 31st, it is Dolores Madrigal's birthday. So happy birthday to Dolores. She's the one that has the super hearing in the movies and is the first cousin to Mirabelle. So happy birthday, Dolores. And now that brings us to our last little segment, which is our Disney memory. So do you have your Disney memory?
No, my Disney memory is really the first time we ever went to Animal Kingdom. When we walked in, I just love, I had wished that my father was still alive because he always wanted to go on a safari. That was his dream in his life. He was never going to make it. But when I saw it, it was just very touching to me to go on the safari truck and get out there and see the animals. And all I could think of was he would have really loved it. And just you and Luke, just the faces, just to see the animals. I think we took pictures of every single animal that first time we went, because every animal we saw was just so amazing that it was so exciting. We had to get pictures of everything.
I still do that now for the Instagram.
Yeah. Now I kind of sit there and go, that's nice, but Amanda takes all the pictures. I don't need the pictures as much anymore. But that's what I remember. I remember just the first time, just seeing how it looked, what it looked like. It was just so amazing to me.
No, for sure. No, I definitely agree. I feel like Animal Kingdom is a really special park in that sense. I know there are other parks. For instance, Busch Gardens probably would be comparable to Animal Kingdom, where they have the animals, the rides, similar feel. But if I'm being honest, I've never been to a Busch Gardens before, so I cannot compare it. I would love to go to the Busch Gardens in Virginia. I've heard that one is the better Busch Gardens than the one in Florida.
That's not that far. You can make that trip.
That's just the people I know in real life as opinions. That's not like any like magazine or something like that saying that. I've just heard people in real life say they like the Virginia one better. But again, don't know that for sure. Never been to Busch Gardens, but would love to see a Busch Gardens for sure, especially to compare it to Animal Kingdom. But yeah, I do think Animal Kingdom is a very special park in that sense. For a Disney memory, I'll do like I feel like we've done a lot of our favorite kind of memories in other podcast episodes. But one I remember is when we were entering into the park. Before I knew that they really do this, now I expect it when I get there. Not in the early mornings, but sometimes when you walk in, they'll have like 2 cast members in the front holding like interesting animals. So maybe they're holding like a tarantula, or they're holding like some weird little, like, I feel bad saying weird, but some weird little reptile or something.
Right, in their own.
Some intricate little, like rat or something like that, something small that you're able to look through like in the little cage, and then, maybe able to take it out and you can like hold it or something. But I remember the first time they did that was the tarantula. I remember walking up and not realizing it was going to be there. So I remember kind of turning around and the cast member was standing there with this huge tarantula in this little cage. And I remember like getting so scared because I really don't like spiders. I feel like I've gotten better over the years with spiders. Millipedes and centipedes is still a huge no-no, but spiders I've definitely gotten better over the years. Now I can look at tarantula and I don't freak out as much. However, I say this, a caged tarantula. Right. If I was just out and about in like, the outback of Australia, I think I would be running the other way if I saw a huge spider. But in a caged environment, yes, I can look at spiders now. So yeah, but I just never forget that, because like I wasn't expecting that to like walk into the park and immediately you're just greeted by like the animals instantly. But again, I think that's
an impression.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest parts about Animal Kingdom. It's like they're all over. Always definitely look around, but always remember to be wary of the Florida animals versus the Disney animals, because there is a difference.
People who complain that there are spiders and snakes. Yeah, and
that they say certain, or like different birds or whatever. Yes. And it's like, well, Disney doesn't have control over all of the animals of Florida.
You're outside.
They're animals, but there are still the Florida animals too. Right. But we also love the Florida animals too. Yes. We love them. You
have to respect them. It's their prey. It's their habitat.
No, for sure. But all right, well, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. Make sure you follow us on social media. We are currently Spaceship Earth Design across all platforms, which will also be linked in the description below. You can listen to the Mother Daughter Disney podcast on all podcast platforms, including YouTube. So if you are listening on YouTube right now, make sure to give us a like and leave a comment below. And if not, make sure to head over to our Instagram. I will have a dedicated Instagram post specifically for this episode where you can let us know what's your favorite thing about Animal Kingdom. Is your favorite thing on one of our lists? Is it something else? Are you like, how come Pandora was not mentioned at all? That's my favorite part of all of Animal Kingdom, especially that quick service in Pandora. I know people love the food there. We have literally never eaten there a day in my life, but I have seen the food there before. I've heard it's very good. We just end up never eating there because we tend to go to Yak and Yeti, if I'm being really honest. Right. So we don't eat anywhere else.
We have our favorites. So, everybody has their favorites.
Yeah, but we're going to start branching out, trying other things.
We're going to try. So. Let's see if that works.
But let us know what your favorite thing to do is in Animal Kingdom, either on Instagram or in the comments below on YouTube. And yeah, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. We'll see you all real soon. Okay, bye-bye.